Hey folks, taking a look at my rogue trap build today. The key part for this build is the infiltrators aspect, which allows you to drop 4 poison traps at once while in stealth. The easy way to activate this would be to simply put concealment on your bar, which grants stealth. The big advantage with concealment is the improved form of stealth, which also prevents damage from breaking it, as well as providing unstoppable and movement through enemies. But the major downside is a 20-second cooldown. With this build, I'm using a combination of aspects along with dash to enter stealth. First, we add smoke grenade to dash with aspect of quickening fog. Smoke grenade will daze enemies. Then we use aspect of uncanny treachery to activate stealth by damaging the dazed monsters with an agility skill. Majority of the time, I'm using caltrops as the agility skill to proc the stealth. But keep in mind that dash is also an agility skill, so dashing back through the dazed monsters is another option for gaining stealth. Okay, looking at the skill tree. Going 1 point into puncture for the generator. Grab the enhancements. Really like the vulnerable on it. Great for single target. Rapid fire, max that out. Full 5 points. Grab the enhancements. I prefer the critical strike chance, or damage, sorry, after an evade. And go down to the agility tab. I'm maxing out caltrops. That's probably optional points you could perhaps stick somewhere else. But I do like it for the extra slow, mainly, on it. It does increase the slowing and the damage, the more points you put into it. Enhanced caltrops. A little extra damage while they're in there. And then change it to cold with the methodical caltrops and chilling. 1 point in dash, so we can grab the enhancements. Increase crit damage. And also provides a slow at the end of the dash. A little more crowd control there. 1 point in smoke grenade, so we can grab the enhancements. Not putting this on our bar. So definitely go with the subverting smoke screen here, because the cooldown reduction would be pointless without it on your bar. Then go in poison trap, max that out. Most of your, or a lot of your damage is coming here. AoE for sure. And I like the 10% increased damage. Could go with the... I have tried both. Both are good, but right now I'm going with just the increased damage. Let's see. Passes back here. Did go 3 out of 3 weapon mastery. Using a crossbow right now, so increased crit damage. Then max out exploit and a malice. I think pretty strong damage boosts. Just 1 point in poison imbuement. Grab the enhancements here. Either one, I think, is doable, but a lot of lucky hit on rogue, so could go either way, I think. But I like the blended poison imbuement. Get some nice poison boost passives here. Deadly venom, debilitating toxins. I don't know if this point's worth it, but hey, it's a single point. If you get a bunch of poisoned enemies, get a nice little attack boost, attack speed boost. I think it seems alright, but maybe not totally worth it. But and 3 points here. 15% against chilled, 30 against frozen. Pretty big damage boost. Over here, putting 1 point into innervation, just so I can get up to the extra lucky hit on non-physical damage. I would like to max this out. I'm just, it's where to find the 2 points. But perhaps caltrops. But more crit chance against trap targets. And then going with the exposure passive. Key passive. You get your reduction on cooldowns for your trap skills when it procs. Dropping grenades. A lot of fun, that one. Okay, looking over my legendary aspects. First critical one is on, I put on gloves, which is the infiltrators. Allows you to drop your 4 poison traps while under stealth. And you also need the quickening fog I talked about, which adds the smoke grenade to the end of your dash. Put that on my helm. And then on my chest, I put the way to proc stealth by dealing direct damage to the dazed enemy, which is the smoke grenade target. That'll allow you to drop your four traps. For a defensive, I went with the disobedience on legs. Nice chunk of armor there. Let's see, in the rings, I got the arrow storms. Definitely not necessary. Kind of fun. Could definitely go something else there. The smiting ring, very strong in this build for the 40% increased crowd control when you're healthy. And the increased crit chance against injured, that's nice. Definitely nice. But you really want this for the increased crowd control duration. I could almost see putting that on amulet or even weapon. But I think you probably want to go. Right now, weapon, I don't think this is ideal. But you do attack crazy fast when you put your basic skills on your weapon. Almost 60%, the 60% on the top roll. But I don't think this is ideal right now, but I'm just kind of playing around with it. And then on the amulet, the 50% boost here, I'm putting the Edge Masters. You're generally going to be casting your 4 traps with max resource. So I feel that's very strong in this build. I could see swapping these two. Put the Edge Masters on the weapon for the 100% boost. And get the 50% on the basic skills. Definitely something I'd like to try out. Let's see, on the weapons or on my swords, I have extra vulnerable, dealing direct damage to trap targets. And then caltrops, adding stun grenades to it. Another very optional, but I enjoy it. Did I miss it? Oh, boots. Boots, I don't think, while this is a lot of fun to play with, it's certainly not essential for the build, but it is pretty cool. If you have them, I'd probably recommend using them. One option for boots, if you don't have the frosty feet, is the noxious ice. Chilled enemies poisoned by poison imbuement are further chilled, and you also deal additional damage to frozen enemies. So that's pretty strong in this build. There's also another one. I don't think I have one. I can throw up an image, but what is it? The aspect of explosive verve, where your grenade skills also count as trap skills, and whenever you arm a trap or drop grenades, you gain increased movement speed for 3 seconds. That's also one I like. I was using that. I believe that's what I was using before I went to the Penton and Greaves. But okay, taking a look at the Paragon board. I definitely recommend going with the snare glyph on your first board here, your opening board. I really like the increased radius on the non-ultimate traps. So your caltrops and your poison trap are both increased in size by 25%. And then, of course, the plus drop damage. So grabbed all the int I could. I'm almost getting this up. It'll be nice once I can get it up. Grab a couple more int nodes once I can increase the size here. But then I moved up to the, where is it? Deadly ambush board. Critical strike damage to enemies affected by your trap skills. Obviously very good in this build. Getting a lot of trap rare bonuses here. Cooldown reduction. Trap skill damage up here. Grabbing damage to enemies affected by trap skills. More, or damage reduction on this one here. Also getting the bonus there. That's nice for me, but definitely need to. And then the glyph here, going with the exploit. Pretty much, I think almost every build is, or most builds are going to want to use this, but getting the bonus there too. The first time you damage somebody, 3 seconds vulnerable. Very nice to have. And then I moved on over to the cheap shot board. That's what I'm working on next. And then you get a lot of damage reduction. Or not damage reduction, but crowd control related stuff here. Damage reduction from elites on this one. That's nice. But here you got the damage to crowd control. I'll be going for that. More crowd control over here. Damage, armor. Healthy enemies, probably skip that, but we'll see. My plan right now is to head over, get this, damage reduction from slowed enemies, and this one as well. Then we can also open up another socket, but not exactly sure what I'll put there yet. Haven't thought of that yet. But that's a look at the board so far. I enjoy this build due to it being more tactical than brute force. It requires a bit of awareness to avoid ranged attacks when stealthed. Also look out for giant melee swings that start before you go stealth. Some of them have rather long animation times. Obviously you want the monsters to stay in your trap kill zone, so try to stay yourself inside that area. If you don't normally play with move only on your left mouse click, I would highly recommend it for this build. I found it just too easy to accidentally click and attack something when you are placing all your poison traps during stealth, which then would break you out of stealth and prevent you from dropping any more traps. So as far as I'm aware, any non-damaging action will not remove you from stealth, so you can use your health pot and also evade, which I do quite often. One mistake I was making early on was treating my melee weapons as stat sticks. Raw DPS on them is important, however. Trap skills base their damage off the weapons you currently have out, which will generally be your melee weapons, since we're dropping traps after using dash, which uses melee weapons. The only skill that uses a ranged weapon on the build is rapid fire, and rarely do I drop a trap directly after casting that. While this build is mainly focused on the AoE of Poison Trap, it also does very well with single target boss fights. This build is able to stagger a boss very quickly. Poison imbued rapid fire on a staggered boss is very good single target damage. And when a boss is staggered, you can proc your stealth by attacking him because he's considered attacking him with an agility skill because he is considered dazed. And then you can drop your 4 poison traps on the boss. However, just from my experience, I think you're probably better off just spamming poison imbued rapid fire because the time that the stagger time you're wasting by just getting your traps out is pretty significant. Okay, taking a look at what stats are good for the build. Like most builds, vulnerability, very strong. You can find that on weapons. Crossbow is great because it has a vulnerability baked in. 60% there, you see. Rings, also want to look for it there. Critical strike damage, very good. As its own multiplier, obviously based off of your crit chance, so you want to have crit chance as well, but you can get crit damage on your weapons as well as rings. To find critical strike chance, look for it on rings and gloves. Same thing with lucky hit, rings and gloves is a good spot. That's what you want to look if you want to get those. As far as all these other, the damage to daze, that's good. Damage to cold damage, poison damage, stunned enemies. All these things are good. You have all this CC in there. They're not essential, they're kind of interchangeable. But they're not as strong as vulnerability or crit. You also want to be looking for plus to ranks. Obviously, barrage on gloves. Or sorry, not barrage, rapid fire on gloves. And poison trap, you can get that on your legs. Smoke grenade as well I have here. Not, it's fine. It's good. Any of the max life, a good roll on that's good defensively. Damage reduction's good. Armor percentage. There, I have an armor percentage, another max life. Damage reduction from distant, these are all good things. They're going to help you. But the big ones I say are the vulnerability, the crit chance, the crit damage. Lucky hit's nice. Like to get that as a rogue. And plus skills, of course. But yeah, just kind of an idea of what you're looking for. You can see my gems, go with the damage over time, purple gems and weapons. The armor from the skulls and jewelry, armor is just way OP right now. Sounds like they're going to be buffing resistances, so that whole may change the power between armor and resistance. And then I'm just going with the max life right now. Gems and armor.